Welcome to Utica TV Overtime. I'm James Brown.
And I'm Corinne Bush. Before we get started, we would like to thank Spectrum for their fast internet service and for helping make Utica TV Overtime possible. To sign up for Spectrum internet or mobile service, please call 1-800-831-1547 or use the QR code shown on your screen. Tell them Utica TV sent you.
Now let's get into the action. This past Wednesday, the women's tennis team had their last matchup of the year against SUNY Oneonta. In the past, the Pioneers have struggled to defeat the Red Dragons. This time, the Pioneers gave them a run for their money. Starting with the singles, the Pioneers won 2 of 6 matches with Selma Dizderevich and Lindsay Tiedman winning 2 of their 3 rounds. In the doubles, the Red Dragons took over the Pioneers and won all 3 matches. In the end, Utica lost 2-7 in the overall score against Oneonta. Congrats on a great year, ladies.
The men's soccer team faced off against the Russell Sage Gators in an Empire 8 matchup between 2 teams that were eager to add some more wins to their Empire 8 resume. The Pioneers came out of the gate confidently as they had 2 shots at the Gators keeper in the first 4 minutes of the game. Just 3 minutes later, sophomore Aiden Day would score Utica's first goal of the game in just under 8 minutes of play. This would be Aiden Day's second goal of the season. The Pioneers would take this 1-goal lead into the half, where they would never look back as Utica goalkeeper Zachary Aceta would come up with the team's only save of the game in the 47th minute, and the Pioneers would win the match 1-0. The Pioneers moved to 4-6-2 on the season, and the Gators fall to 3-6-3.
The Utica women's field hockey team improved to 3-8 last Wednesday after defeating Russell Sage 2-1 in their annual breast cancer awareness game, in which they wore pink uniforms to support the cause. The Pioneers broke into the scoring column early when Mackenzie Mix deposited her 3rd goal of the season into the back of the cage in the 6th minute, with 2 scoreless quarters followed with defensive plays for both teams. Early in the 4th, the Gators tied the game at 1 with Alyssa Fitzgerald's 9th goal of the season, one assisted by Amy Stevens off of a penalty corner. With 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in regulation, Alyssa Pisano reclaimed the Pioneer lead, slotting her 9th goal of the season on a rebound that ricocheted off of Sage goalkeeper Jaya Karen. Utica would close out the game after Hannah Young came up with a clutch save on an Alyssa Fitzgerald breakaway. Young would finish with 6 saves for the Pioneers en route to the victory.
The women's soccer team faced Russell Sage last Wednesday, October 11th, at home for an intense matchup. The Pioneers managed to create the most shot opportunities in the first half with 4 attempted shots on goal. Riley Lamphere made 2 of said shots, and Courtney Connolly had 5 saves in the first half. The Pioneers and the Gators entered the half with 4 total attempted shots, with each team having 2 respectively. The game ended with Courtney Connolly completing 7 saves, while the Pioneers and Gators had a tie of 0-0.
On Saturday, October 14th, Utica football faced off against rival SUNY Morrisville. The Pioneers were looking to bounce back from a loss last week and get back into their winning ways. The first quarter was scoreless as both teams had multiple chances to put points on the board, but they couldn't finish. In the second quarter, the Pioneers managed to get in field goal range, but the kick was blocked and Morrisville returned it to the crib for 6. After a stalled drive for both teams, Utica's Aiden McDonald was able to return an interception, and Corey Lickman was able to score the extra point, giving the Pioneers a 7-6 lead heading into the half. Early in the second half, Fuller completed a pass to Travis Decker, who ran down the sideline for a touchdown to increase Utica's lead to 14-6. The fourth quarter featured 2 drives by both teams, which led to a 42-yard field goal by Lickman. Later in the fourth quarter, Utica's defense made another stop, leading the Pioneers' Sam Florio to rush for a 16-yard touchdown, giving the Pioneers a 24-6 lead. Utica's defense was able to close out the game, giving the boys their 6th win of the year.
On October 14th at 4 p.m., the Utica University Pioneers took on the Nazareth University Golden Flyers for their senior day. The Pioneers outshot the Golden Flyers 25-1 overall and 19-1 on goal. Nazareth's lone shot found the net, which resulted in their only score. In the 51st minute, Lydia Combs found Adura Majikowski for a goal that snuck past Young for a 1-0 Golden Flyer lead. In the 54th minute, Alyssa Pisano set herself up for a clean look off of Christina Jackson's pass to even up the score. Russo came up big with a save to send the game into overtime. The Utica Pioneers did not waste any time in overtime. Only 26 seconds in the ball was passed up top to Emily Frank from a corner, who then had a quick pass to Alyssa Pisano, who was in position and scored for her second overtime game winning goal of the season. The Pioneers won 2-1. Utica now holds to an overall record of 4-8 and a conference record of 2-2. The Pioneers now hold 4th place in the Empire 8 rankings.
The Utica women's soccer team will square off against out-of-conference foe St. Lawrence tonight at Casamento Field for their final non-conference game of the season. The Pioneers entering today's matchup with an overall record of 7-4-3 and an in-conference record of 3-1-3, while the Saints set an overall record of 6-4-3 and a 3-2-1 record in the Liberty League. Opening kickoff will be at 4 p.m. this evening.
On October 20th, the Pioneers will take on Elmira College at 7 p.m. at the Harold T. Clark Athletic Center in Utica for an Empire 8 matchup. This matchup will also be senior night for the Pioneers. The Pioneers will be honoring 4 of their seniors. The Pioneers will also look to snap a 10-game losing streak and for their second win against the Soaring Eagles. The Pioneers came into this contest with a record of 12-9 overall and a conference record of 2-2. Utica currently sits at 6th in the conference standings, while Elmira sits at 9th and last in the conference. Elmira is sitting at 7-14 overall and 0-5 in conference play. Senior night and game play will take place on October 20th at 7 p.m.
Utica women's hockey is coming off of a successful 22-3-3 campaign in the 2022-23 season. The Pioneers went 17-1-2 in conference play and advanced all the way to the conference championship, where they faced the number 13 nationally ranked Nazareth. Utica battled all the way to a second overtime, but they eventually let up the championship winning goal. They lost 3-2. The women's team is looking to continue their winning ways with their second exhibition game against SUNY Canton. Their last exhibition, the Pioneers fell to Norwich University 6-1. The pair of exhibitions will be the women's only test before heading into a season where the expectation is to be back in the conference championship.
Utica men's hockey is coming off of a 25-3-1, 22-23 season where they fell to University of New England for the second straight year in the second round of the NCAA tournament. However, they had another successful season winning the UCHC championship over Nazareth 5-3. So there is plenty of success to carry over into this new season. The Pioneers will be opening with an exhibition match against the United States national team under-18 squad. This last season, they faced off against each other in Plymouth, where the under-18s handed them a 6-2 loss. This will be the first test for the Pioneers as they head into a season with lots of expectations to repeat a UCHC championship and make a run in the NCAA tournament.
The Utica Pioneers women's volleyball team gears to go up against the Alfred Saxon as the Pioneers are looking to rack up some more wins in Empire 8 play. Last time these two teams matched up was last season, where the Pioneers came out on top 3-0. The match is scheduled for Saturday, October 21st at 2 p.m. in the Harold T. Clark Athletic Center. Make sure to come out and support your Pioneers. And that's all the Utica sports we have for you this week.
Be sure to follow us on social media at UticaUTV on Instagram and our website. Visit there at uticautv.org.
Thank you so much for watching, and always remember to
Fear the moose.